Hi everybody, this is just a brief instructional video for it's Unit 2. It's 2.04, Reporter's Reflection. So when you're looking at the assignment, what you're going to do is you're going to use News You Can Pursue, which is up here. But as always, if you want to do a Google search or use another type of search engine, you're welcome to do that. You just always have to make sure that you're looking from credible sources. But you're going to look through a credible source to help you find a newspaper with a news story, not an opinion piece. So what that means is it can't be like a fluff article or something about like the different just entertainment type pieces about like Kanye West and Kim Kardashian or something like that. So it has to be kind of like a more of a hard hitting piece that reveals a reporter's bias. So the stories that might contain bias are those that deal with hot topics like entertainment, national defense, the economy, politics. But if you think about like anything that deals with Trump, you're really going to be able to find reporter bias there. Environment, so like with the hurricane that's coming through, you probably would be able to find a little bit of reporter bias in some of those articles. You'll just have to look, and here are some of the things below that you can look for. So you're going to kind of look for a story about a hot button issue that interests you and see if you can find bias in the piece. So below are a list of things that kind of help you pick out if the reporter's biased or not. So you have language choice. Does the writer use neutral language? So you can kind of tell if they're, being a little bit one-sided. Sometimes they use like colorful adjectives or verbs to kind of sway the reader to think one way or the other. Balance, does the writer include quotes and input from all sides of the issue? So, like if you're talking about something with Trump, certain news media are for Trump, certain news media are against. And so you'll see that they'll be a little bit one-sided. They'll only post negative things or they'll only post positive things. So kind of look there. Fairness, does the writer treat everyone and every issue with the same level of respect? So if they're talking possibly about Trump and about another government official, is Trump being treated more positively than someone who is a Democrat, or is the Democrat being looked at in more of a favorable light? A lot of times you'll see news articles where senators will be speaking and they'll either be really for him or really against him, and reporters report on that. And then you can kind of see the reporter's bias starts floating in there as well. So missing information, has the writer intentionally left out any material in order to influence the outcome of the piece? So obviously, are there two sides to the story? Because a lot of times there are. So if you're only hearing one side, that's bias. Information that should be deleted. Has the writer included anything in the piece that's irrelevant or unfair? So, if you're talking about Trump doing something for when he came to visit the shooting victims in Dayton. There was a lot of report about positive things and a lot of negative things, and information that really didn't have to do with that, but the reporter got a positive spin or negative spin on it. So, and the reporter's opinion. Reporters are always going to lend their opinion here and there. Sometimes it's she stating the facts, but sometimes the reporter blatantly include their opinion on the news. So those are the things to look for when it comes to reporter's bias, right? So what you're going to do for the actual assignment is you're going to include the link to the story you've chosen. So you just copy and paste that link to the top of the page, a paragraph explaining why you think the story reveals the reporter's bias, and a paragraph describing how you would rewrite the section to remove the bias. So what's important to remember about this are these little reflections are 5 points. So I don't need an essay. I need a real brief paragraph for each or like a couple of sentences for each. However, I do need to tell you that you have to back up what you're saying. So if you're saying that you think the um, reporter reveals like a positive bias or a negative bias, you have to give me examples why. So if it has to do with Trump's visit to Dayton, give me an example of how it was negative or positive. Always include some form of evidence. And if you don't, I'm going to ask you to include evidence at some point. So hopefully that makes sense, and will help with anyone who has questions. If you have further questions, please let me know. Okay.